Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the GC Informer, GameCast's very own news program. I'm your host for today, Mark, also known as Koistorch. First up, Jump Force has revealed several more characters and finally detailed its story mode. Basically, all the different Jump worlds have collided with the real world, creating a number of problems as many villains from the Jump worlds have appeared as a result. To stand against the villains, the Jump Force is formed, an elite group of heroes cobbled together from different Jump properties. This will also include your created character, who has about as much character customization as a Xenoverse game. It seems like Akira Toriyama's original characters will be the cause of this melding of worlds too. Basically, the game is like a Xenoverse title, but instead of Dragon Ball crossing over with itself, it's a larger collection of Jump characters, which in turn allows your created character to play dress up with even more outfits and special moves. Several new characters were also revealed during the trailer and by recent scans, such as Asta from Black Clover, Trunks from Dragon Ball, Boa Hancock from One Piece, Renji Aburai from Bleach, and Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, from My Hero Academia. I'm still not a fan of the game engine, and the more characters and franchises they bring in, the more their chosen game engine seems like a mistake. Deku does look quite well formed though, however from the screenshots shown it looks like he has one facial expression. His eyes are just a little too worried looking and I find it quite distracting. The animations are looking much cleaner, but I'm still not expecting too much out of it as the game looks more and more like an arcade brawler with each new trailer. It's a genre that works well in arcades but doesn't translate too well on consoles. Jump Force will launch February 15th next year for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Next up, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is breaking Nintendo records, which should come as no surprise as it's pretty much the biggest release all this year for the Switch. Anyone who's spent time with a Smash Bros. Title will probably understand why it's so popular and why everyone loves Ultimate. It really is the definitive Smash experience. Sure, a few mechanics have been tweaked over the years and purists will still prefer Melee, but when you have a Smash title with literally every character from previous titles, it's hard not to love it. In its 11 days since launch, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has sold over 3 million copies, making it the fastest selling game in the series' history and fastest selling game on the console. Pokemon's latest offerings in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee are no slouches either, with combined sales of over 2 million. It's always funny when Nintendo round out an otherwise fairly standard year with a big hitter. I still remember the original Mario Galaxy breaking all sorts of records on the Wii and taking home a bunch of awards even though it was late to the party. Smash Ultimate is another in a long line of success stories for Nintendo, and seeing a bright future for DLC, I can only imagine this party fighter and hardcore Evo extravaganza becoming an instant system seller for many. Lastly today, Granblue Fantasy has been busy with spin-offs. For those unfamiliar, Granblue Fantasy is a smartphone gacha game that bleeds money like practically all other phone games. It's had an anime adaptation and is a pretty big deal in Japan. Earlier last year, they announced a spin-off would be developed by Platinum Games, the crazy geniuses behind Bayonetta and Nier Automata's gameplay. Their new title, Granblue Fantasy Relink, has been properly detailed for the first time in a while, and it looks to be a really cool squad-based action RPG. There's a 14-minute gameplay demo, and while it is a little rough around the edges, the gameplay mechanics look solid and it just looks fun. While Granblue Fantasy doesn't have a huge profile in the West like say Fate Grand Order, the spin-offs have potential as the publishers want to port Relink to Steam, as well as release it on PS4. It's also developed by Platinum Games, who have a fantastic track record for localization. I don't think it'd be much of a stretch to hope for this title to come out. Platinum aren't the only ones working on Granblue spin-offs either, as Arc System Works have thrown their hat into the ring with Granblue Fantasy Versus, which is yet another great looking fighting game from a developer that I love. Arc System Works' most recent projects have been the solid but poorly marketed BlazBlue Cross-Tag Battle and the amazing and jaw-dropping Dragon Ball Fighters. Granblue Versus will use the Unreal 4 engine similarly to Dragon Ball Fighters and Guilty Gear Xrd, with beautiful 3D models that capture the look and feel of their source material. The game is a 1v1 fighter with a simple to learn combat system, which sounds like a mix of both Guilty Gear and Dragon Ball Fighters. Knowing Arc System Works, it will have its fair share of complexities, but that shouldn't stop anyone from being able to enjoy it, especially if they include a tutorial mode like they did in the latest Guilty Gear, which I still believe is the single best tutorial I have ever played in a fighting game. As this is an Arc game, it's also incredibly flashy, and all of the special moves shown in the reveal trailer seem to be up to the same standard fans are used to. Much like Relink, I believe Versus has a good chance at localization, given the developers involved in both projects. Granblue Relink doesn't have a release window yet, but Versus is scheduled for a 2019 release in Japan on PlayStation 4 and hopefully on Steam. And that's all the time we have for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please let us know what you thought of today's topics in the comments below. This will also be my last news video until the new year, so I hope everyone has a great break. Until next time, bye!